everyone. Welcome to Amazing Plantz4mationz. I am your host, Veganowledge JJ, and I am joined today by my guest, Rob Lee, and I'll be just trying to get him in here. We are having a little bit of a technical difficulty with the Restream app with him getting it loaded here. So let me put this on YouTube. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. You can still hear my voice on both. Hey, Rob, if you can hear me, can you click the one that's in the comments now? Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think I just posted it. See if maybe you can get in with this one here. 1 second. Let me post this. Okay. Now it should work. Let me just type that too. Well, sometimes when I'm live, for some reason, it works better, but I apologize for the delay. And while he's trying to get in, let me just tell you who I am. Again, you probably already know, but I'm your host, Veganowledge JJ, author of How I Went From Sad to Glad, my simple 4-step blueprint to transform your health, weight, and mindset to finally reach your goals with joy and ease. And I'm so excited. I have a new membership that I just started to help you with your vegan, high raw vegan goals. And let me just check on Rob. I'll be right back with you in just a second. Thank you all for being here. There he is. He made us wait for it. That's why how he likes to show up like that, right? Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it. Oops, I think you might be muted though. Maybe you might check your mic. I love the background. I want something like that. Except I don't want it to say plant-based coaches. I don't want to steal that from you. I'm gonna read your bio while you're trying to set up. Like I think the microphone. If you look in the top right of the little corner, sometimes there's a little 3 dots, and I think that's where you can. The audio is to connect it, just in case. But I'm excited to be joined by Rob. We're going to get his microphone working too. Rob has been living a whole food plant-based lifestyle since 2014 and is now a certified nutritarian coach through Dr. Joel Fuhrman's program. He's also the host of the Plant-Based Coaches podcast, where he and his team interview leading experts in nutritional research and share powerful stories and transformation. He helps people lower their high blood pressure, reduce cholesterol, lose weight, and really take back their health. And the important thing is he's doing that by using plants instead of medication, which is amazing. Of course, why we're all here to let people know that they can heal and help animals and the environment with a plant-based diet. So let's see if we can welcome Rob. Do you want to try to say something? Uh-oh. Let's see. Oh, he's coming in again. I think I see a third Rob.
Hey, JJ.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear the second you. That's
awesome. My gosh. I just got a new phone, so that's why maybe things aren't going as planned. But
that's my fault. We should have done it. I keep saying I'm going to do a test interview. Like I go on Be Green with Amy all the time, and she does it. She's got it so organized, and I keep saying, you know what, I'm going to do this like she does and do a little 10-minute test interview before. And every time, we were both busy today, so I know it was hard to get on here early, but it's totally, I'll get better, right? I'm still.
That's okay. Yeah, you bet.
It's just like our diet. We improve it every day as best we can, right?
Little improvements all add up.
So welcome. I already mentioned your intro, everything that you do, and I'm sure I probably missed some of it, but I wanted to leave room for surprise here while we were talking. But I really appreciate you coming on. I know you're busy with your coaching and other things you have going on, so thank you for being here.
Glad to be here, Jen.
Awesome. So I always get these started in the same way so that we can find out what was it that led you into this plant-based lifestyle in 2014. I'm assuming that you were already like probably eating like all of us were, but I have to ask what exactly led you to this path of plant-based?
Correct. Yeah, I was eating like everybody else, typical diet, and I was blessed to have something that was given to me. I was in the right place at the right time, is how I look at it. I had been watching TV, and it was introduced by to Dr. Joel Fuhrman by one of his videos on PBS, and it was the 3 Steps to Incredible Health. And while I was watching that, it was like a godsend. I knew this was it. This is what I had been looking for because I had been trying to lose weight,
Mhm.
and it made sense. And it was coming from a physician and someone who specializes in nutritional research. So, and of course, best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author. So it made sense, and I got all aboard. I went out and I picked up his book, Eat to Live, and I just started applying everything, and then ended up going from there. So it was great. It was definitely a game changer for me.
That is amazing. And Dr. Joel Furman has helped so many people. Like I can't even count the number of people I've interviewed that was the book they read, Eat to Live, and it really like changed their life. And that's awesome. And I was lucky enough to interview him. And you have a great interview, I believe, just recently with him too on your channel, Plant Based Coaches, was it,
Yeah.
or is it upcoming?
Yeah. No, we just did that one. And yeah, it went really well. Whoever's watching can see it on our YouTube channel. If you just type in plant-based coaches, you'll see our channel on there. But yeah, we got a lot of videos on there, like 60 some or something like that.
I love your channel, and I was interviewed on there too. I was so excited. Um,
Yes.
I'm glad I didn't have to follow Dr. Joel, though. I think his book's a little more popular than mine so far, right? We'll see what happens.
So
But
far, yes.
so I love that approach, and I think that was so you know went from standard American diet to this diet. Can you explain to people what exactly his diet recommends? Because I know I did a video on this. There's so many different ways to vegan, as I say, like there's raw vegan, there's also like a whole food plant based. What approach is nutritarian? Can you explain it a little bit?
Sure can. So the nutritarian diet is vegan, but it focuses mostly on eating n- very high nutrient dense plants. So Dr. Joe Furman refers to it as his acronym is called G-BOMBS, and it stands for greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. And those are the foods that have been researched and show the most significant, um, what would you say, anti-cancer um, foods. These are the most anti-cancer foods that have been studied. And he wants us to eat those every day. And the salad, of course, a large salad to make sure to get in every day. So yeah, it's really about either excluding altogether animal products or at least minimizing them so that you would have them on an occasional basis, but definitely not being the entree of your meal or the main focus. So a lot of people exclude them altogether, but yeah, it just focuses on these foods that are very nutritious, full of micronutrients such as antioxidants, and other phytonutrients, vitamins and minerals. And, our bodies are starving for these because most people eat a roughly less than 10% of produce per day, of whole produce.
Wow.
So, it's, and these are requirements, are vitamins, minerals, and other micronutrients, which there's hundreds, if not thousands of them, which have been identified in plants, such as fruits and vegetables. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a little idea. But it's an amazing journey, and a diet, a lifestyle diet that he's created, and hundreds of thousands of people who are following it.
And I love that it gives you a guide of, because people are always like, what do I eat? And you can imagine, listen to all those foods that you heard. And within each of those categories, there's hundreds of varieties. There's so many green type vegetables. There's beans, there the different kinds of beans you could make. And then like obviously onions, mushrooms, and berries. Of course, there's millions of those. So, not maybe millions that we have access to, but there's a lot of within that category. Now, could you tell me just a couple of the changes you experienced? I know for me, when I went at least, to the raw vegan and plant-based diet, I felt like a clarity, I had energy, and I had also health changes. Can you tell us if any things you experienced both either physically or mentally from this change?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing I noticed, which a lot of people do, is more energy. I went from, practically like falling asleep during the afternoon or wanting to take a nap to having sustained energy throughout the whole day. And I still have that. And that's one of the greatest things. Most people walk around kind of like they're sleepy tired all day long and just going through the motions. And to not have that is the most amazing thing, I think. The
Mm-hmm.
second thing is to be able to think clearer. I noticed my memory, my focus, concentration, and I'm sure you can relate, JJ, all of those things improved in just a matter of weeks. And so those are the two things that I noticed the most. Mhm.
That's amazing. And did you have any like weight loss changes?
I did. Over a period of a year, I was able to lose 60 pounds. And, with the nutritarian diet, you
Mhm.
give the body the right nutrients and you cut out the processed food and most of the animal products, or all the animal products, which are
Mhm.
higher in calories, and your body naturally loses weight. It's that simple, really. And I was able to lose, 60 pounds just over a year. And that was
Amazing.
without a lot of exercise, also, even though exercise should have been implemented too, but yeah.
Yeah, I was the same way. I lost 55 pounds in 6 months without any exercise either, other than my normal daily activities, which I was moving around at the time. I was in the like a delivery business, so I was always on the go. But it wasn't like I went to the gym and lifted and did exercise bikes and stuff. And that, like you said, obviously exercise now I know is very important, but it is something people I think try sometimes to use exercise as a replacement for getting the right food and the right nutrients. And I love that you talk about, and I love the approach that he uses, because a lot of times we think it's not really about weight loss, it's about reaching your optimal weight, I think. And that's why we probably don't focus our first thing on that, because so many people are trying these different diets out here, and it just drives me crazy, honestly, to see on YouTube you can lose 10 pounds in 4 days with this and this. So you can lose weight 100 different ways. Like you could literally eat like I don't know, cookies. I even think I heard of a cookie diet once. If you cut out everything else, you can lose weight. But what nutrients? Eventually, your body's going to start starving and having issues, you know. So if you could focus on the nutrients, I think that's one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Because I didn't realize, you know, I don't know if you found this too. Like, I didn't realize what I was missing until I actually had a bunch of vitamins and minerals in my life. Things we just think are normal, you know, like that happen. So I love that. And when did you decide to like take it to another level and help other people?
So it was probably about 3 years ago. Well, I met, okay, well, I'll back up. 2014, I had been on Facebook a lot, and I was able to gain a lot of friends. And one of my friends was Richard Hubbard. And I had known Richard for a while then on Facebook. Um, and I also heard of Suzanne Fox and was a friend of hers. And so we decided just over a year ago to create plant-based coaches to help other people. And I had been wanting to help, and I had shared a lot of information, which I still do to this day,
Yes,
regarding
your
whole food
videos, they're awesome.
plants. Yeah, and plants and information regarding nutrition and what you can do and to help improve your nutrition and so on like that. And I just thought, and I had been giving this information out, and I was like, what if I start coaching people? So I went through Dr. Joel Fuhrman's course along with Rich, and finished that course and have been helping people and coaching people since. So it's such a rewarding thing to do. My goal is just to help as many people as I can, like you, Jen, and to get this information out, to get it in front of people, because most people aren't going to even know about this type of eating, a nutritarian lifestyle. They're and I didn't even think about things like this. I mean, I was just doing my daily activities, going to work, just doing what you do, going to bed, get up, do the same thing every day, and not thinking so much about my health.
Yeah.
And I'm a former smoker. I smoked over 20 years. I worked in a nightclub, got 3 to 4 hours of sleep for many years, and never focused on my health. And now I've kind of just flip flopped that, and I'm a health nut.
Right. Same here. I mean, same almost exact, except I didn't actually get to work in the nightclub, but I spent time there. But I was, you know, in my 20s, I, you know, smoked cigarettes, drank, you know, socially, and went out a lot. And, you know, sleep was kind of afterthought. And so for this me, when my friends see me probably on Facebook, they're like, wow, what a change. Like, you know, she went from making, you know, jokes about, hey, let's get a drink, to like, you know, now I'm like, okay, let's get some fruit. So but it
Right.
also is cyclical of like everything, or I don't know if that's the right word. I was just trying to sound smart. No, I'm just kidding. But it's very like the layers unpeel. So when you start eating healthy, you also don't have as many cravings to want to put other things in your body that are, you know, you start to learn the body, and especially you took Dr. Joel's course, so I'm sure that really opened your eyes to a lot of things too, even that we may not have known when we first started, about what these nutrients not only can do, but then what the stuff that we were putting in was doing is also a scary thought. You know, like you start to realize your body is the most important thing you have, and your health is one of the most important things you have, because it's like literally the basis of everything. You know, it doesn't mean anything if we're not here, we're not alive, and we're not feeling good while we're doing it. So I
That's
think
right.
that, you know, helped me to eliminate. I'd already luckily quit smoking in 2010. I didn't find this diet until 2019, but it definitely helped me cut out drinking almost completely unless I'll have, a glass of wine on the holiday or something like that. But it definitely made me think twice before I'll even do that. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to put that in, like I don't want to do that to
Yeah.
my liver, right? But it's
Yeah.
like we don't know. And I love what you said about people don't hear this, because if you are like one of our friends that are on Facebook watching this, or that is on YouTube, and you came across it, like you had that eye-opening moment with what you watched and I did, but it was hidden. It wasn't like something that I saw in the 11 o'clock news or 10 o'clock news or whatever, or 6 o'clock, whatever news comes on. I don't watch it any longer, but
Right.
like it was something we thought, I would think, should be being screamed to everyone throughout all the networks. Like, people are healing with a plant-based diet. You don't need meat. You don't need dairy. In fact, it's doing this, this, and this. And it's just because of the industry, it's hidden because
Right.
there's a lot of money involved. And you said you saw this on TV, which I was surprised about. Like, where did you see that? But Dr. Joel Fuhrman is very popular. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And this, this was what we're talking 13 years ago, 14 years ago, but it was on PBS.
Oh,
And I
okay.
couldn't find anything to watch. I just happened to stumble upon, his presentation. And luckily I caught the first part of it too, so it wasn't halfway, more three-quarters over. And
Yeah.
yeah, but you're right, Jen. The two things that are giving people so many cravings, there's two things. It's they're nutrient deficient, and then they're also eating a lot of processed food and animal products, which triggers certain parts of the brain, just like when you take cocaine or if you're doing any other type of drug, it stimulates those certain parts of the brain that make us want and crave these things more and more. So it's like a hit every time we keep eating these foods, and then we're not getting the nutrients from whole foods. That's what causes the cravings on a regular basis. So it's a combination.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I think why a lot of diets don't work, because you're trying to cut out so many things that you're missing now, key nutrients. And just speaking on that, in case someone's new here and thinks, wow, okay, I, think I might be able to or want to give this a try. But can you just tell people, because I think you and I eat very similar. We're not the biggest, from what I understand. You eat like simply like me, but still good nutrients. What do you eat in a day?
So for me, I do a lot of intermittent fasting. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, it just, you, how do we say this? Most people are eating standard 3 meals a day and then snacking twice in the middle of the day somewhere along. And it doesn't allow your body to heal when you're digesting food. It doesn't allow your body to heal properly. And I know that's what we've been told. That's what I grew up on too. And, I grew up in a meat and potato family. So at every meal, you had to have meat, you had to have potatoes, and then, of course, you had some vegetables, but the main focus was on those two macronutrients and, high calorie foods. And so, it's a matter of just getting back to eating real food. I forgot what the question was, Jen, though.
You could
You
just
were
take
getting.
us through. I know you intermittent fast. What time do you start eating, and like
Oh,
what
right,
is a
right.
typical day for you?
So, eating this way, that's the beauty of it. You don't really get hungry throughout the day. And so I'm not starving. I eat, and this is what you want to do is just eat when you're hungry, not eating for, with your, because you have cravings or just out of habit or anything like that. And I don't get hungry through much of the day. So when I get up in the morning, I skip breakfast. I usually will end up, if I'm hungry, sometime around maybe 2 in the afternoon. I'll have some fruit, some whole fruit, and then some vegetables. And then I always try to include some nuts and seeds in with the produce, because this increases the nutrient absorption by like 10 times when you eat the healthy fats. that come from nuts and seeds along with the produce. So I always try to do that together. And then, I go on whenever I'm hungry, I eat, but I don't get hungry through much of the day. And then I try to wrap things up. Optimally, you want to wrap things up by about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, so that when you go to bed at, let's say, 9 or 10 at night, you're not still processing food and your body's not digesting it, and it has time to heal organs and cells and tissues and to recover. So fasting is an excellent way of kind of resetting your body and giving it time to kind of recover. And many people do this, as I'm sure you know, Jen, throughout, on a daily basis, eating this way. And then I try to eat within, so like 2 o'clock in the afternoon to about 6, eat within a 4-hour window.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And what do you eat for dinner? Just an idea, like whatever comes to mind.
I eat a lot of raw foods. I try to get in, G-bombs every day, your greens, beans, mushrooms, onions, berries, and seeds. Of course, your mushrooms, you always want to have them cooked, because they contain a certain chemical on them naturally, which increases cancer. But when you cook them, it blows that off. But my berries, a lot of raspberries, blueberries, goji berries are expensive, but I love to have those, hopefully sometime. But blackberries are incredibly anti-cancer foods, and these foods not only help with preventing cancer or helping to prevent it, but also heart disease, diabetes, strokes, dementia. I mean, it's not one food that you're eating to it's one food that you're eating to prevent all of these things. You don't have to eat different foods to prevent a lot of these issues. But so I eat a lot of raw food. The only thing I really will cook is like beans and then my mushrooms, and then I'll throw some veggies in the dish. But otherwise, everything is raw. My lettuce, arugula, spinach, chard, a lot of the greens, collard greens, whatever throughout the day.
I love it. I love hearing that, right? I love the raw food. That's the same
I
way.
wouldn't have guessed.
It's so good, and it actually gives me energy too. Like I find if I eat that type of food, and I'm the same way, I don't eat. And I know for many of you, if you're already on medication, this is not medical advice. If you're told you have to eat with your medicine, just try, like I would say, to eat the right things, and eventually, like your description says, like I found I healed a lot of things without medication, and so many people are doing that. And of course, have your doctor monitor it if you're already on it, to make sure you're getting the right doses as you come off of it. But it really is amazing what the missing nutrients are, really the missing link that I've found with a lot of people, and we're managing rather the symptoms with medication. But you really can eliminate it. And we've seen so many people, probably in your podcast and mine, and just talking to people in our circles. And I think it's such hidden information. So I love what you do, putting out the videos and sharing all the information on food, many times a day, like different things that you can get out of food. And I know, so we can find you on Facebook, and also you have the, is it plantbasedcoaches.net?
Correct. Yep. It's plantbasedcoaches.net. And if you'd like more information on coaching, or you'd like us to help you, we have 2 other amazing coaches, and myself, to help you, live this kind of lifestyle and reap the benefits, because the benefits are just ongoing. And, money is no good if you don't have your health. And the thing is, it's not only about living a long life, but it's the quality of life that we live. And that's what's important. And as we know, 50% of us are going to end up in a nursing home at some point in our lives. And I don't want to be one of them. That's for sure. And I don't want you to be one of them. You can find us also on YouTube if you just type in plant-based coaches, you'll see our channel. And like I said, we got a lot of videos, and you're welcome to watch those as well. And subscribe, because we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we have
Awesome.
680, I think, right now. So the more we get this information out, just like what you're doing, Jen, the more people we can help.
Yes, and definitely, like the videos on there, share them out, share this video. And even if you're not someone who feels comfortable, I know I'm really still not comfortable, but I come on and do this. And even if you don't want to like come on camera and say things, sharing out videos of others who are putting this information out can be just as helpful, because we never know who's going to see it. I came across a video in 2019 that changed my life. You came across something just and it was a mistake on my part too, that I even saw that it was about looking up something else. You came across it as a mistake. So if you're seeing this and you might be thinking, I've been trying to lose weight, I've been trying to, or I've tried and I can't do it myself, definitely sometimes having a guide or a coach, and Rob has a great, calm, patient approach to it and helps fit it in your lifestyle. You may not eat exactly like me, Richard, him, or Suzanne, but you may find that we can find a way usually to fit what you want to do, how it could fit in your life for you and your family and your, in your type of lifestyle, because it's just about getting those foods in and when you eat them, and and how you can make that work for you is so important. And I think that's why it's important to have a coach.
Right. And so many people, it's a mindset, and it's a lot of habits, and we address those things on how to get over that stuff as well. So
Mhm.
it's not only just cravings that most of us battle otherwise. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think having a like-minded people around was so important too, in a lot of our journey. So thank you for being my friend on Facebook. I found such a big community of people that I would have never met. So I'm glad, and hopefully we can continue and do this again. Maybe have you again if there's anything specific you're ever promoting or want to talk about. But I appreciate you. I know you are lined up for another interview. He is in demand today, ladies and gentlemen. So we have to let him go in a few minutes. But if you want to wrap up, just tell me all the places we can find you. I think we already went over that. Or anything in closing that you'd like to say, any tips or anything that you haven't already said. And then we'll, I guess, go ahead and wrap up so I can. Oh, wait, Marakita wanted to say hi. So
Hi,
hi,
Marakita.
thank
Hey,
you for joining. And
great to have you here.
yes, thank you. I know she had left a message. She can't wait for this, but I know she was busy too. So I'm like, I hope she gets on.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Jen. And I'm going to tell you, you're one of the hardest working people. Jen, JJ, is one of the most diligent people. She puts
Oh, thank
so much time. I see your posts on Facebook. She's very attentive and responsive. And you just put so much effort into sharing this information, doing your live stuff. It's just amazing. And so I just love what you're doing. But again, yeah, you can find us at plantbasedcoaches.net if you'd like help to live a better, healthier life. We're here for you. We're all compassionate. We're all dedicated and motivated to help you succeed. And you can find us on YouTube as well, and listen to podcasts and whatever. Just type in plant-based coaches. You'll find us, and subscribe if you would. That'd be great. So
that
again,
is
thank you,
amazing.
Jen.
You're welcome. Thank you. Go check it out. And don't forget, they're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. Who knows when you'll be watching this video? Maybe you'll click it and they'll already have 1,000,000 by then. But let's try to get them to 1,000 subscribers. And please subscribe to this channel. It really helps. And leave us a comment. We would love to hear from you. Tell us if you're already plant-based and about your journey. Marakita Solis, vegan empowerment coach. She is amazing. Check out her channel too. Thanks for popping in and joining us. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rob, for sharing your amazing plants formation, as I like to say. So,
My pleasure.
all right.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. I'll see everyone soon. I have a few other videos to load up, and thank you again, Rob. I appreciate you.
You bet. Have a great day, Jen. We'll talk to you later.